Yeah, and with that spin, welcome to the highlight videos of the weekly Monza race, the weekly Monza challenge here in LMP2. Guys, we jump into the race that we have seen a spin on. As we say in the start, don't blink, and then it's lights out and away we go. P4 in qualifying, not the best lap, however, a much better start. As you can see, straight away, 3 wide on the run, down towards turn 1. Jack McConnell and Daniele Brambilla on the left-hand side. We're late on the brakes, and Brambilla is really close to us, making it almost contact as we head into turn 1. After all, everything nicey dicey, very Italian start indeed. And we are following Yannis Simracing. And I absolutely can relate to what he said, focusing more on the mirrors than on the road. And he has to again focus on the mirrors as we try to go around the outside into turn 4 and 5. A little bit of a wiggle from Simracing there on the brakes, but nothing we can capitalize on, sadly. However, we have taken the spin, we have rolled the dice on the strategy as in the end of lap 1.
Drive through for the content.
Drive-through for the content.
We are doing a drive-through penalty for the content, making it the last to first challenge. And guys, content started very much
for the content, guys.
in the first corner after the drive-through. On the exit of turn 2,
Oh, guy has no rear wing and races you.
Yannis Simracing ahead of us in Curva Grande gets the spin from that LMP on the side. We have warned him before
Please tell me you have
that
a rear wing.
the guy hasn't had a rear wing,
I don't know, I'm completely broken, I think.
and sadly caused for major damage on Yannis.
Okay, that's on me.
Personally, I felt a little bit bad of making the call.
You did everything right, like, you told me that there is a car besides me, but...
And I told you he has no rear wing. He's racing you.
However, I was more referring to the call of making this a last to first challenge. I felt a bit guilty on Yannis. Painful experience. Anyway, it was lap 1 after the drive-through, lap 2 in the race, and we were trying to get on the move as quickly as possible as we are chasing down Pavel Siedla. And as you can see, more chaos here on the back straight when we're coming towards the end of lap 1, down towards the old Parabolica. We had a look on the inside, late on the brakes hopefully, and then clearing Pavel for 17th place at this stage. So we re-emerged in P21 after the so-called drive-through for the content. But before we are looking deeper into the race, let's have another look at this painful incident where Yannis really got taken out of the race. Nothing Yannis could have done. Arguably, you cannot even blame the car on the left here, the green and yellow machine, because rightfully he probably did not even know that he had no rear wing, as remember there is no damage display on the MFD. However, we were a bit lucky to not get dying together with Yannis, but straight away we go back into the race. End of lap 3, after being into 17th position, we had a massive run out of the final turn, and we were boxed in here a little bit. Thankfully, guy on the right opens up the space, and we thankfully take it as we go for a 3 wide situation. Late braking required as we on the middle, but ahead of the two into the braking zone. I go deep on the brakes, actually moving the line as the car on the left gives a little bit of space to enable for more side of error, for more space of error to the right. And sadly we haven't had a good exit, but for whatever reason the guy ahead of us left enough space and actually let us go into P14 at this stage. Let's have another look into the scenes. Once again, we have been boxed in here, but thankfully the guy on the right opens up the space for us, allowing us to go through. And then, as I already indicated, the guy on the left, he just was probably looking into the mirrors, and as you see, the space between me and the guy on the right hand side was really tight, so I really did not brake as hard as I could, as early as I could, in order to allow room for error. Anyway, we are back into racing speed. Lap 6, massive run from us here on the exit of turn 2, but sadly we had to lift a little bit out of it to make up for Kevin sort of struggling out of turn 2. Anyway, Curva Grande around the outside, we had the speed, and actually Kevin also lifted earlier, letting us go into 12th position here. Yeah, and if you guys appreciate this racing, if you guys appreciate the highlight videos, please consider subscribing the channel and ringing the bell for more sim racing videos. Just one lap later, drama for us almost as we exit Lesmo 2 into the cloud, and you see it on my reaction. It is a small miracle that we not have been taken out by the guy that ran through the gravel trap, rolling back and almost causing damage to our race. In the lap after though, we were on a run towards to P10 already, into Ascari, taking it a little easy, creating a little bit of a gap, and then thankfully found another freebie as the guy ahead just spins on himself, arguably due to the pressure happening from our mirror. Speaking about pressure, the guys in 8th and 9th had a little bit of argy-bargy, easy freebies for us. Thankfully, another 2 positions gained without further time loss. But you see, we are already on the rear end of Shimon Goslan here, and we're trying to make our way through to further get onto the hunt of the leaders. That you have to say, 27 seconds was the drive-through that we took. 29 seconds is the gap after lap 9, as we are trying to go for our moves into P7 before Parabolica. Nice and sweet, blocking the inside for a potential switchback and then focusing on the exit, trying to get away. Into lap 17 we jump then, as we have closed the gap to P5 to Patrick Bugan, and onto the main straight. When starting lap number 18, we go for an easy move on the inside down the main straight towards turn 1, sealing the job. But actually, short after this move, in lap 20, it was this particular corner where we have overswung with the rear, had an oversteer moment, lost the position again, lost 4 or 5 seconds of time. As you can see here in the lap before on the delta, a lot of red down there. However, it was time for a pit stop at the end of lap 21. Opportunistic onto the left, close there with the barrier, but side by side into the pit road with Patrick Bugan. Now we can obviously argue whether that is fair, whether that is according to the rules. Guys, what you think? Let me know down in the comments area below, and keep it in mind for later. We have parked the car, tires 12 seconds, fuel 54, so we're rolling the dice, taking new tires for the second stint. Off we go from the pit spot and back onto the racing line. At this stage, it was a little bit unsure for me whether we would be able to further come back to the front. You have to say Jack McConnell and Daniele Brambilla at the front, having rolled their dices as well. We were in with Jack, but Danielle went a lap longer, so that was a concern for us, as we really knew these guys had the pace. But also we had the pace, and after our pit stop we are coming on Tim Redditz, who has not changed the tires. Therefore we can go round the outside here. Actually, Tim Red lets us go early, so no big deal for us, but making use of the racing line, the rubber and the grip advantage that we had anyway. So back to Jan Talik. He is now in 3rd position, and that is our way for the podium, as it is lap 35 already. So as you can see, in the past 14 laps, the gap is sort of stationary, coming from 32 to roughly 31 seconds, and that was literally the sign that we probably are too far away to conquer for the top, as there was only 31 to go. But before conquering for the top, of course you get yourself into P3 first, and we put Jan Talik here under pressure into the second chicane. He goes defensive for Lesmo 1. We sell the dummy around the outside, going for a switchback, trying to get the power down earlier. Not enough, once again defensive, and we're just doing exactly the same thing, this time with a very nice run and overspeed on the inside on the exit, out accelerating Jan for 3rd position. And from here on, it was a very, very long way to go, as we had 31 minutes, but hardly really any realistic chance making it back to the top. So what we did was kind of slowing down, kind of starting chilling a little bit. And as you can imagine, as soon as you're starting to do that, the gremlins are coming back into your concentration. And round we went. What this basically meant is, as we were on fresh tires, we have kind of destroyed these fresh tires, giving us a little bit of flat spot, but more importantly, Jan Talik, on whom we'd already built a 6 or 7 second gap, has been back into P3. And you see our frustration about it. So what has actually happened is not too much. We just broke, we came over the bump, touched the white line, and that was enough to lock up the rear and therefore making us lose in the car.
And then I was like, yep, this is a perfect place for a switchback. Hashtag nope.
Perfect place for the switchback. Hashtag nope indeed. Anyway, it was 3 laps later. The second pit stop is on the way. Ahead of us, Jan Talik, 7/10 ahead, and once again into the pit lane we dive. Heavy on the brakes, late on the brakes, right in time for the limiter. Actually passing Jan Talik while I am jiggling about the fact that we're doing this again. Again, the question, as I told you guys, keep it in mind. What is your guess on it? Legal, illegal, fair, unfair? Let me know in the comments area below. This time just fuel, as we're once again leaving our pit spot for the final 18 minutes of this race. At this stage, the race was more or less settled. It was Daniel Brambilla versus Jack McConnell at the very front, rolling the dice on their strategy. I think Daniel in the end took tires here and tried to come back at Jack McConnell. Whether that would have worked out or not, we're gonna see in the very end. And I can tell you it has not, because I think it was about 2.5 seconds the gap between Danielle and Jack in the final stages of the race. We in the end have not done any further mistakes. We have not had any further shenanigans. Coming home in 3rd place, securing a podium after a last to first challenge. Poor with Jene, as Jene also had good pace. And that would have really meant some good competition throughout the race. Anyway, at the end of the day, we're taking a P3 and we are taking a little bit of a bonus on the rating side. Was it a bonus? I can't even recall. So commentators curse, as I currently don't know whether I gained some rating. I think I lost some. Yeah, there we go. 0.5%. Not too important, but hopefully a good and fun race for you guys to watch. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. Please consider becoming a subscriber and ring the bell. And see you next time for more highlights videos. Thank you and goodbye.